Now I've got a beautiful page of text ready for you. This is not my style. I like to have presentations and slides, but things are moving quickly. I don't have time to make everything super pretty and perfect because that is the enemy. I like to move things quickly. There's different things I'm going to show you. These next 3 videos are going to be very off the cuff. The first video is going to be about the vision, what on earth this is, what does it mean to be a SWAT team member, what other roles there are, how things work, how you're going to make money, how you're going to get paid, where this is heading. So that's all going to be in the vision video. And then video 2, I'll show you, okay, what is it we do and how do we sell this, how is this monetized and what you essentially be doing, which is really just giving away free GPTs. That's really what we do. That is the core of the business. We hit people up and ask them obviously in a more creative way than just saying, hey, do you want a free GPT? I'll give you the messages, and as long as someone says yes and you fill out a form, you get paid. You get paid for your time and you get paid for results. That's just how I like to operate. Personally, I like to just work on results only, but I know you guys want to be paid per hour, you want things nice and stable, but I also want to compensate you for the results you get so you can move up. This isn't just a job where you just mind-numbingly do the same boring thing every single time and there's no potential, there's no growth, there's no training, there's no community. This is the opposite of that. This is a true growth arc. I'm going to start by showing you the system that clients charge us. We charge clients thousands of dollars to use for. Thousands of dollars. You're going to master it in an hour per day, which I'm going to break down into the 4C system. I'm not a fan of screen tracking or micromanagement. I'm not here to babysit. I spent a long time of testing this and seeing what I personally like from the people I work with and what I don't like. And what I don't like is mediocre people, C-level players who slow things down, ask too many damn fucking questions, and don't do any work. Because we've ran this multiple times. This isn't the first time you're seeing this. I've already ran these groups multiple times. You're going to see the syndicate, which you should have access to eventually, if not now. You can see we've already done iterations of this. We've had leaderboards out of 100 people that went through this. Only 60, 70 actually came to the group. So they even 30% of people dropped off from just even going into the group. And there was an even bigger drop off, and only about 10 or 11 actually even did any work. So this is why I'm very, very aggressive in the first few days to really see who is even worth the time. I don't like bringing people in who waste time. Now, it's my job to make things as fun and simple as possible. So this is my job to make this as easy and understandable as possible. So what you'll be doing, as this doc outlines, and the numbers will change. The XP will change because I'm moving from the old process we did, which we used to send out voice simulations to leads to speak to a voiced version of themselves, and then they'll sell them on the product. Now we simply give away a free GPT, which is simply like this. We get the prompt, we create the prompt, we put in the GPT, and we give it to people to test it and use it to help them with their lead generation. Why lead generation? Because it's the first pillar of any business. The business has to get leads to sell the leads, to fulfill for the leads. This is why in our business we have the SWAT team, the sniper team, and the support team. The SWAT team is the lead gen, the sniper team is the sales, and the support team is the fulfillment for clients. There's only really 3 pillars to this game, and everyone has a set role to fit into those roles depending on their personality. In this case, we're going to start with lead gen. That's the easiest way to begin because it is so simple. I've made it so simple, so easy to follow, and thanks to AI, most of it is just copy and paste. And you're rewarded for basically doing the work, helping us expand the business, reach more clients, drive more revenue. For that, you get XPs. There'll be fun leaderboards, which I'm going to show in a second, how I'm going to map this out and gamify this. There's obviously the free videos to kick you off, and you'll get access to this Google Doc, by the way, so you can read through it at your own time. Who we go for, what to expect in your first 30 days, why this is different, because I don't care about just hiring someone to just sit there and do basic tasks. I'm here to grow team members, create winners, create future millionaires, because as you learn this game after 14 years of doing this, is if I help you get to your goal, you're going to help me get to my goal. It's you scratch my back while I scratch yours. And my core belief is that the more I give you, the more tools I give you, the more training I give you, the better the community, the more fun it is. It's a big key thing that many companies miss. The more fun it is, the more we can do, and the longer you're going to stay. Because I don't want to go through all this training just to like have you leave in a month. That's just useless. And I'm sure you don't like jumping from job to job, from task to task, because that just wastes time, wastes money, wastes opportunity. There's constantly new things to learn. This might be your very last project that you ever apply to, because it has everything you need. Now, hopefully that's the way it's going to be for some of you. So when you watch this video, I want you to drop me a keyword to make sure you've actually watched this and seen this. So drop me the keyword to me or your manager, to your overlord, whoever recruited you, just to make sure that you're actually paying attention. So let me kind of recap. What's going to happen is we give away these free GPTs. You're going to be paid on the time that you do this, starting with 1 hour per day, because the way you're going to see this in the 4C process, we can condense this to 1 hour per day. We can condense 6 hours of work in 1 hour, thanks to AI. It can do the content, it can do the messaging, it can do the reposting, it can do the follow-up, it can do the outreach. It's very, very simple, and we've compressed it down to very, very quick 1 hour slot. But for those results, I want to reward you. And I'm going to make deeper videos on these topics. This is just an overview. But this is essentially a form we submit once the leader said yes to the free GPT. Like, yes, I want my own GPT, which, we have videos to send them on. This will be submitted. And then in the background, a bunch of stuff happens. We basically run them through these prompts to create their own GPT. We reverse engineer everything I've been working on. And then we kind of score their offer and stuff like that. This will get sent to me or a team member, a support team member, to create this and fulfill on it. But as soon as you fill this out, boom, you get credited. It's all tracked to you. You have your own form. We can very quickly see who is doing the work, who's sending how many leads, and this is all going to be tracked. It's going to be on the leaderboard. It's going to be very transparent. It's going to be posted in the Discord group, and these XP stuff will be changed. But these videos will live here. This is the old stuff. I'm going to replace this, by the way. And the initiation, I'm going to tweak this a little bit to fit this current new training, because this is the old training for this AI voice simulations. So all this is going to be adaptable. It's going to continue growing. This is how the business is just developed. Nothing's ever perfect. Where we're heading with this is the big one. So pay attention. Is all moving towards an own app where we have the form as I showed you and the GPT. We're going to move away from just using GPTs to having our own web-based app. And that means, since everything is tracked, you will have your own command center. You can see how much XP you've made. Because if you do, if it's $10 per payout, for example, for the tracking form, you get 10 XP, and that stacks up, and boom. And you rank up. There's different ranks, as you've seen. There's conversion rate, how many of those became revenue, how many team members you have in your downline. And this is not a pyramid scheme. There's not going to be any 7 layers of referrals or whatever MLMs do. It's going to be very simple. You can have your own team, or your own crew, as we call it, your own squad, because you are going to be incentivized to train them as you go through the first process to make sure that they're doing the training, and you basically get the same commission as they get for just running the team instead of doing the actual work. This is just how businesses are done. I want you to get very comfortable with delegating. I want you very comfortable with learning AI, learning prompts, maybe doing even sales, maybe doing content, maybe doing videos. This is a growth arc, like I mentioned. You're not going to be stuck doing one thing forever, because there's no growth in that. There's no growth in just sending DM messages. That's how you begin. But later you want to move up and learn new skills and develop your personality, develop your character, as I have done in my journey of 14 long years of testing everything under the sun, and eventually coming to this. So everyone have their own dashboard. Everyone will see the team profiles. It's all going to be transparent. How much XP there is, how many leads have been processed. You can view the profiles of different team members, just like a video game. This is all gamified on purpose because I like video games. I like tracking my progress. I like winning. I like getting rewards. I like topping leaderboards. Because back in the day when we used to do product launches, there'll be a leaderboard, and first prize. Say we do a massive launch and there's double XP for like next week, like starting next week. Boom, the launch is beginning. We can do this like every month, and that means everyone can compete against each other. And then eventually, once the launch is done, we can see the leaderboard. We can see, boom, Angela's first place, or actually I've got it here, like, boom, Angela's first place, Sasha second, Ibeca's third. And then, first place gets a MacBook, second place gets another prize, third place gets a microphone or something else. So we can get really, really fun with this. This is where I'm headed in my life. I don't really care about work anymore. I've done all the work. I've done the grinding. I've done the hustling. This is just all about having fun, and having fun while you learn. And you have your own crew. Of course, you're eventually going to log into this and see your own crew, your own team members. You can track them, see how many leads have been sent, who's been last active. And then we can have crews competing with each other. How epic is that? Not just team versus team members, but crew versus crews. That's going to be dope. So dope. You can see on profile, stuff like this, achievements, just like a video game, your progression of ranks, how you've done and progress, and this is all going to be visible per team member. This is going to be very transparent because I want to make it transparent. Because if you are a performer like me, a high-level performer, a high-level achiever, an overachiever, you like to compete. You like the fight. You like the game. And that's really the people I want to attract. The ones who do the bare minimum and won't even appear top 20 or top 50 on the leaderboard, like, probably best for you not to even apply to this, because you're not going to really fit in with this ethos. There's quests, daily quests, weekly quests, and then clients. Clients can log in as well, because this will be given to clients. Because where this is heading is I will connect you with clients. But there's two sides of the business. There's this side where we get the clients, but we implement the same thing I'm showing you for clients to install their own dashboards, to install their own team members and setters and VAs and stuff like that. So it becomes really, really fun. It's almost like we're creating our own little echo bubble on the internet. And we're all kind of have different clients. There's different clients, could be different team members, could be different offers, and we're building our own ecosystem. Or, if you see my LinkedIn profile, our own CPA network. Our own cost per action, that's what CPA stands for, network. Because you either paid on performance for the form, the lead form submits, or per sale. That's where this is heading ultimately, because there's far more money to be made on commissions as long as the system converts, which is what I've spent my whole life doing, learning conversions, learning marketing, how to sell, how to write copy. And I'm giving those tools to you with GPTs of our own to hit up clients, to find clients, and I'll make sure that I'm closing them, or the system's closing them, or we have closers. You are a setter in the SWAT team, but we'll have closers in the sniper team to close those leads. There's a whole ecosystem. Does that make sense? Cool. So that's pretty much it for the SWAT team. Now I'm going to go into and explain how we even use the GPTs, because the core thing is around this little lead magnet, which I used to sell for like $2,500. Now I've moved it further to the pipeline, below the pipeline, where we give it away for free. It used to be an offer we used to sell. Now things have moved forward so much in terms of dashboards and tracking and the offer and installing, adding new team members for clients, even not just my stuff. That I was like, wait, why don't I just give this away for free to speed up the conversion process, get super excited clients from the get-go, save myself time on the Zoom calls, and just close people much, much faster, which means more money for the business, more money to pay you, more money to build out cool stuff like this. So for the next video, I'm going to go through and just talk about the GPT, which I already created a video on it, but I'm going to just explain how this relates to you. Because the video is for the clients on how to use the GPT, but I'm going to now explain how we'll be using it for our own process. And then I'll show you in video 3, I'll show you the actual kind of live mini demo of how this will work on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on school, where we actually get the leads, message them, follow up with them, using AI, and start making money. Cool? If you like the idea, drop me demigod as the keyword, and let's get rolling. But check out the other videos.